You know who's pretty hot under the collar right now, feeling a little pressure doing one of these is Antonio Conte, Tottenham Hotspur. They're still a top Group D, 2-1-1. Marseille and Sporting behind them, 2 wins, no draws, 2 losses apiece. And Frankfurt at the foot, 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses. Spurs minus 225, hosting Sporting, plus 550. The draws plus 350. These odds, of course, from Bet365. Spurs lost. Their only loss in the Champions League came against this Sporting side. We kind of nailed that one, saying you just don't want to be betting. You don't want to lay Spurs as a favorite when they're playing these kind of teams. And you especially don't want to be laying this kind of wood with Spurs against a team that's going to play a well-organized defensive game and force Tottenham on the ball when they're in weird form. 3 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses for Spurs, their last 7. The wins came against Everton, Frankfurt. That was a 3-2 win, and Brighton. So not exactly a murderer's row. They've had losses to United and Newcastle, among others. Arsenal, BJ side, which was a pasting. I think Sporting plus 550, that money line is a really good number. So I'm going to be on him. Anthony, Conte out?
No, absolutely not. But, I think, for those who listen to this, I'm from Philadelphia. I'm a Phillies fan. We just clinched the pennant. We're very excited about it. I have to give somewhere. Like, my sports teams are doing really well, the teams I root for. So I have to give somewhere, and I'm giving with Spurs because we stink. And I listened to the pod. I wasn't on Wednesday. Was at a concert, of course, as Michael has talked about.
The Smashing Pumpkins concert.
It was Noah Kahan. But anyway, it's beside the point. The real point here is that I've said this for months now, and eventually it was going to catch up to Tottenham, that they were not playing at the level that they were last year. They've clearly regressed. And I think today, in a way, was a perfect example of that regression. Yes, Tottenham created a few chances in transition, more than I thought they would. Newcastle showed some defensive cracks, and maybe Spurs should have gotten one in the first half. But again, their inability to play through pressure, Newcastle was able to create high turnover after high turnover. That's one issue. I don't think that issue matters quite as much here, because I expect Sporting to be very defensive, playing for the point. But they also have had no answers for breaking down defensive low blocks. And in a way, we kind of saw that in the second half. Newcastle sat off a little bit after it was 2-1. Spurs didn't really look like scoring much. And I know there was time wasting and all that jazz, but they didn't look like scoring much. And Tottenham doesn't have enough right now in terms of attacking quality outside of Kane and Son to create for them. Bentancur is fine. Højbjerg didn't play today, but he's fine. Like, they're not bad midfielders. They can play a pass, but none of them are aggressive ball forward playing midfielders who are excellent progression numbers, who carry the ball elite, and none of them are really chance creators. And Kulusevski is still out. He's going to be out for a while now. So, and Richarlison is out. So what is Tottenham doing to create enough to get margin here? I don't know. They struggled in the first match at Sporting. I think they're going to struggle in this one. I know Sporting has had 2 very bizarre results in a row. Goalie getting sent off, donating 2 goals. They get an early red card, a penalty against Marseille. They got embarrassed in those 2 matches, but I think that Tottenham is still inflated. So I like Lisbon at home, or on the road rather, catching a goal in a quarter. I think Tottenham continues to be overvalued. And look, I know about last year. We've talked about this, BJ. Like, they were really good last year. We now have over 10 games of data this year, 15 in all competitions.
No, I know. Your team sucks.
Tottenham just isn't that good. So
today, I think I said it on the podcast. I was like, today, like, against Newcastle, that would confirm essentially of like where Tottenham's at. Like, if they came out and put on a good performance against Newcastle, dominant performance like they've done against some of the smaller sides, and it's like, all right, maybe it was just a couple weird performances against United and Arsenal, but yeah, after today, I agree with you, Anthony. You were right.
All right, now we're gonna get some for the next show. We're gonna talk about Arsenal regression, but that's coming.
You wish.